Welcome to the Sit Down where we have conversations with creators from across this beautiful motherland of ours. My name is Makomboya, a filmmaker and an all-round story lover. And today we are sitting down with Mohamed Zain, aka Moha, who is a Steadicam operator and a cinematographer. And if you know anything about Moha, he's also the co-owner of Mojo Productions. And he's been able to do numerous commercials for brands such as Safaricom, Airtel, Telecom. The list is endless. So all I'll say, as usual, is sit down and settle in. All right. So thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you so much for deciding to have a conversation with us on being a Steadicam operator and just generally the art of making films and telling stories through cameras. So I guess we'll start you off for someone who's never met or doesn't fully understand the art of making films. Who is a Steadicam operator and what do they do?
Okay, a Steadicam operator is a guy who carries very heavy cameras and sweats a lot.
Yeah, that sounds like a good description of who a Steadicam operator is. Right. So how do you start? How do you start when you wanna get into the world of being a Steadicam operator? It's something you aspire for. Well, what would you say would be the sort path for someone like that to follow?
Okay, so I think the thing is, of course, you can always go for training. A lot of workshops which happen in the States and in UK and things like that, places like that, and you can go for that. They'll give you the whole rig, everything, and they'll teach you, and it will be a really good place to start. But of course, that's not possible for everyone. It wasn't possible for me as well. So the second best thing was go online. There are so many tutorials, so you will get a lot of videos and things like that. So that information is there, how to balance and things like that. But when it comes to practice, you will have to get a rig. So you can, I've seen even on videos, people trying to make one with, of course, that's one way to go. But to buy a cheap rig or a second-hand rig would be a good place to start, because you would need something to practice on. By watching videos, you will not make it.
So what about someone who that does not have the budget, is just looking to get into Steadicam operator? What Steadicam operation? What would you say is a path for them to follow? They don't have the budget for it. Most likely are not good in physics to try and create it, but they really want to get into this. What kind of path do you think they should follow?
Yeah, it's a little tricky to. I mean, as I said. You can follow somebody, like you can say if somebody is my assistant, but they won't get a chance to wear my rig because it's a personal thing, as I said, because the vest is what you put on, and it's to your fitting. And if somebody is in a different size than you and starts adjusting things, then the next time you have to wear it, it's frustrating, and it's a personal thing. I think the Steadicam, the reason why there are not so many people who are there, like here in Kenya, is because you'd have to get that rig. We don't have schools here which will have the Steadicams, where you can go and learn and they will give you the rig, or rental houses where if I need a camera, I can hire, or light, I can hire, but a Steadicam, I will have to talk to a Steadicam operator who has his own rig. It won't be like somebody who has a Steadicam and they will just give it to you.
Yeah, and we keep talking about Steadicam. For someone who doesn't know what a Steadicam is, the machine, not the person operating it, but what is a Steadicam and how does it work?
Well, a Steadicam is a piece of equipment, which what happens is normally when you want to move a camera in a space, there are different tools. You can put it on a dolly or a slider and you make your movements. But if you want to go through doorways or, walk up the stairs and things like that, that's where you really can't put a dolly or anything like that. So that's where a Steadicam comes in. What happens with the Steadicam is instead, you see, if you can do the same shot holding the camera in your hand as you walk, but when you do that, it's there's a lot of shakiness. The shot is all shaky, and sometimes that's also a style. But if you want a smooth camera movement, then you'll have to use like something like a gimbal or a Steadicam. And what a Steadicam is basically it's in three parts. So there's a vest, so you put it on your body, and the vest has a metal like a latch, and that you connect something called an arm. So now it's like a shock absorber kind of. It has springs. So you put that connects to your body now, and on the other end of that arm, you connect the post. Now the post is where you have your camera, and you have your monitor and the batteries. So now the camera is floating. You're carrying all that weight on your body. You're not really lifting it. So it's your body. It's like a backpack. When you're holding the Steadicam is just with your two fingers. It's very light because all that weight is coming on your body. And when you start walking, when you walk, you have this little bounce. And because you have the post is connected to you with that springs, it dampens. So you can be walking, but the Steadicam is straight. So that's what a Steadicam is.
Do you think it's a requirement for someone to be like, a bit well built, a bit muscular to be able to manage a Steadicam, considering cameras can be as heavy as 20, 25 kgs, 30 kgs, and you're moving around with this thing 3-4 hours?
Yeah, if you are a strong guy and you've got a lot of stamina, it does help a lot because, if you're doing a shot which is like a 2-minute long shot, and then if you're doing a shot which is 4-minute long shot, so on the 4th minute you will be completely wasted because it is tiring. You're carrying all that, you're trying to balance all that weight, as you're saying, the 20 kilos. And you're right, once you have the camera and the post and the batteries and everything, it does reach about 20 kilos there. Yeah, you need to be strong. I'm not saying I'm a strong person, but the thing is it's also mental. I can do Steadicam work the whole day and I'm on set running back and forth and stuff and I'm okay. But as soon as they say, okay, it's a wrap, and I put my gear and I'm in the car going home, I can't even climb the flight of my house. I am so tired. Yeah.
Okay, then that's a segue into us looking a bit at some of the amazing work that you've done and just talk a bit more about that.
School fees. Nipe namba nisine boda. Namba ya mami ndio hiyo.
Mugaka, siwapatie hiyo namba.
Ndio basi. Namba ya mami.
Right. So like something like that. I just seen. Were you chasing the chicken? Were you chasing down a chicken with a Steadicam?
No, that one was handheld, but we used the Steadicam a lot in this shot because it was the way the story was. Mogaka moving around, and he was going through a lot of places. So Steadicam was the primary tool we used to move with Mogaka, but then we also used a crane. One or a couple of shots were handheld, and the chicken was we had to do it on handheld because it was so low, and we just needed the thing about commercials is sometimes it's not a film, so in a commercial you need like a 2-second shot, so you can get away with it, even if it has a little bit of shake, it's okay. You can stabilize it a little bit and you can use it. On a film, the thing about the film is shots stay for a while. You start from here as you come down and you follow somebody, and you can appreciate even like things like a crane. When we use a crane on a film, you can really feel that shot because you're starting from the top as the crane is coming down and the character comes into frame. You can spend like 10 seconds, 20 seconds on a crane shot, and it will be in the film. whereas a commercial is 30 seconds. So
Yeah.
if you have a crane, 1 second is what you need, 2 seconds maximum, and that's it. So you don't really feel the movement so much in a TVC because the shots cuts.
Yeah, so quickly.
Yeah.
And I guess the question is there an approach, when you get, at least for this particular, when you get a script for a TV commercial and you're analyzing it from a Steadicam perspective, what's that process like? What are you thinking about? What are you going to set? Are you doing, scouting before? What's the process from a Steadicam camera operation perspective?
Well, most of it comes from the director or the DOP, or if I am the DOP, then of course it will come from me. But it's like when they have this story in their heads, they have a plan that we want to follow this guy, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we want to use a Steadicam for this shot. So when you are calling for a project, and it's purely Steadicam, I'm not talking about DOP work, purely Steadicam, you're not involved really in the beginning processes. You're just called on, even on the day of when they do a recce, chances are that the Steadicam operator is not there. You go on the set and you're told, okay, so this shot, we're going to move from here to here. And you can, of course, there is collaboration, because you can say, okay, you want to do this shot from here to here, but how about, because we have this scene, can I pick it up from there and then I finish? So now you're talking to the director or the DOP and coming up with a way, if you feel like you have a better way to do it, and if they like the idea, they'll say, yeah, let's go, let's try that.
Send me money. To cut a long story short, yo vumilia na mimi, please don't leave me, don't let the money fool you. Sponsors just wanna use you. Namwambia mtoto wa mama siharibike, ananishoni biashara tu, na siwezi mshibisha na panganga tu, na mwezi ukiisha sina ujanja, na renti kibishwa wanga planda.
Right. So what was your experience like creating for the Steadicam for this music video?
Yeah, the thing about music videos is, shooting music videos is tough, I tell you, because every take becomes a really long take. So that it's a very tiring thing, and you are just moving back and forth sometimes, because some places is very precise that this guy is going to walk from here, especially the story part. He's going to walk from here, the girl is going to be sitting there, and the camera is going to move, and you start from a wide shot and you end close up, and this is this. And when it's the singing part where he's just singing, it's almost like a freestyle. You're just creating this movement of back and forth, sideways, and you keep on going, and it's super tiring, I tell you. It's fun, and it was a long shoot, but it was fun working with Shinsky as well. Really cool guy. But music video generally, it's very tiring.
Yeah. Because
of the long takes. Every take is a long take.
All right, so I want to look at a film as well. So I want to just jump into that.
Super Mario, help! I'm coming to save you all!
Mimi napenda hii. Naka superhero wa ukweli.
Mimi ni superhero wa ukweli. Tulikuwa tunacheza ball na chokona nikamfreeze na power zangu. Alafu hawakuweza kunishika, nikafunga bao kama Messi.
Alright, so what was that experience like for that feature film, which I think was an amazing film?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I really liked to work on that film. It was a lot of fun. The thing is, like, I tell you, like, I was not there on that film the whole time.
Yeah.
So they asked me to come on specific days when they had the Steadicam shot. Luckily, there was one day that called us for a certain shot, which was inside the house where the Stacy, she's running from the living room all the way to the corridor, Then finally she ends up at her mom's room.
Yeah.
And that was the shot they had called us to do.
Yeah.
But they also had a crane shot at the same time. So, but the thing was, the crane, they had a challenge with the crane is they wanted to start from a window, and so that they track back with the crane, and once the crane is enough like back, it starts going up, and we see like a crane shot. So it starts from really close to the window as you track back with the crane, and then the crane goes up. Now the thing is, that shot was becoming a complicated thing for the grips, and I mean, I really like to work with directors who want to do something different and something challenging, because they also challenge you, you know. So they're like, okay, how are we going to do this? So I think one of their plans was to have the challenge they were having is when you move the crane back on the track, at one point you will start seeing those tracks. So the option was to remove the tracks as the crane comes back, and then the crane goes up. But if you had to reset that shot, it was so complicated, because now you have to put all the tracks back because you've just removed them, and every take would take so long to do. So, and there was this thing I always wanted to do, a transition between Steadicam to the crane. And I never got a chance to do it. And I saw this moment and I said, this is the way.
This is the point.
The idea to this guy, Billy Karian. So we said, look, how about we do this on a Steadicam? We'll walk back. I will go on the crane, and then you get your crane shot from there. And he said, yeah, of course it's possible. Let's do it. And we talked to the grips, and the grip was Paul Attorney, really good grip, a lot of experience. I mean, you could have trust in him for pulling that off. We said, okay, yeah, let's do that. So we just had to change the base of the crane to make a little stand where I can hold. Once you are on the crane, there is no place to hold. I mean, you're only secured with your balance and the place where you're holding, you know. And you're going to walk back and step on the crane, and the crane is going to go up high, like 5-6 meters up in the air. So we said, yeah, let's try it. And we did it. And it was, I mean, I don't want to give you a spoiler alert, but it was a very crucial scene in the film. And it starts with the window as it pulls back, and you start seeing people waiting outside the house. And the camera from there moves on to see the house from a top view. And then it slowly, the camera tilts up to the sky.
So just, I guess, to sort of package this all together, in your experience making films, making commercials, making music videos, how does the role of a Steadicam operator change in these different genres?
Okay, in terms of the technical bit, it's more or less the same. You balance and everything the same way. The only thing is, the difference is, if you are doing a TV commercial, the shots, as I said, are very short in terms of duration, on 2-second shot, 3 seconds, unless it's sometimes you can get a one-take commercial, that's different. But most of the times it's really short shots. But whereas a film, you can really have a scene as you start, you walk with the character, you feel the emotions and things like that. And of course the camera plays a big role, the way you move the camera, the way at the speed it's moving, how close you go, or which height are you in, it all makes a difference. And the thing about TV commercials is it's a short, 1 day shoot, 2 day shoot, commercial is done, a week later you see it out, Whereas the thing about the film is you can work on a film project for like a month, 2 weeks, and it's a long term, and slowly, you start seeing the film come to life. That part I really like, because you know the script, you've read the script, now you're just seeing it through your lens slowly as it comes, it comes together. So that's what I like about the film bit. And music video is more fun. It's also, music video also gives you this experiment. Sometimes you want to experiment with certain things, and music video is a good place to get those opportunities, Again, music videos are shorter, a day, 2 days shoots, and they're over. And then you see that music video playing again and again. And if you made a mistake, so you see that
Again and again for years, man.
yeah, so that's another thing about music videos and TV commercials is that you have to get them perfect because the frequency is so much. You don't want to make a mistake, because you'll see it all the time. But when you make a mistake, you have to, because that will always keep you wanting to learn how to improve yourself, get better.
And do you think there's any, I guess wrapping up, is there any lesson that you've learned through this journey which took you from animating to, and we talk a lot more about that on the podcast, but through this journey from animating to starting to shoot, I guess I can even go back from you starting as quote unquote, camera assist on a wedding to animating to, being a camera operator to now focusing more on the Steadicam. What do you feel like is the lesson that you've taken across this journey?
Yeah, okay. One big lesson I tell you throughout the whole thing is when you are working on a job, focus on that to get the excellence, focus on to get it, to do good work on it, success and money, they will follow. Success, if you're doing good work, success will follow. People don't want to work with people who do bad things, bad work, And if you've done a good job, that's this thing for getting the next one. Because you work with the director, he likes you, he will want to call you for the next job. So no matter which level you are on, you can be a camera assistant, or if you work hard and it shows on set. You can tell somebody who is working hard, somebody who's pretending to work hard, and somebody who's just on the phone the whole time. Yeah. So nobody knows your history, but your work is out there. So even if you've agreed to something, like say somebody says they're paying you half your rate, but you want to do it and do it with 100% of your effort, So go for excellence, and then success will follow.
Amazing. So is there anywhere people can follow you in case they want to ask any question?
Yes, they can follow me. Wait, I have to check. I'm not very social posting guy, So
yeah.
Let me just give you my Instagram thing. I mean, that's one place when I get some chance. So yes, my Instagram is MOHD. So MOHD Zain 52. And you can get me on steadicamkenya.com or mojokenyaproductions.com. Amazing.
Thank you so much, Moha, for giving us your time. I know tomorrow you'll be busy shooting, so we appreciate you taking your time off and having this sit down with us.
It was nice talking. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, you can catch a more in-depth conversation that I have with Moha in our podcast. Link in description, and see you on the next one.